United Auto Workers Union says it will expand its strike at the big three automakers at noon this Friday if serious progress is not made on the negotiations. Bloomberg's Oliver Crook joins us now. He's been following the story. Ollie, bring us the latest here. Has any progress actually been made?
Kriti, not really. So we're really deadlocked at that 20% figure that Stellantis, Ford, and GM put forward to the United Auto Workers Union, and that was a no-go. We got that yesterday in very plain terms, and what the president is now saying, Shawn Fain, that the ball is in their court and they need to come up with something better, and they need to do it basically before Friday because, as you mentioned, they're going to expand that strike potentially at noon on Friday if they don't get something substantially better. And remember, less than 10% of this union is currently on strike. That means that you have 150,000 workers that potentially could step out, and that would basically bring the big three to their knees and completely paralyze operations in North America.
It's so striking to me how quickly this is spreading, because really this has been, I think, the third or fourth type of labor story we saw in the U.S. Hollywood, pilots, Teamsters, and now the UAW. Now this is turning into an international story.
Absolutely. Just over the river from Detroit into Canada, Ford has 3 facilities. They've got an assembly plant and 2 engine factories, and the workers there are currently, right now, in negotiations with Ford. Their contracts expired at midnight. They have extended that window of 24 hours for those negotiations, saying that they've gotten a substantive offer from Ford, and so they are considering it now. So maybe there's some progress being made there, but it's all about the same themes, right? It's about wages, it's about pensions, and it's about reassurances around the EV transition, which is really worrying workers, but companies alike. And if they do go on strike, that could impact the V8 engines that go into the Ford F-150s and into the Mustangs.
Well, talk to us about the margins of that, because in theory, it feels like if you do start to see a lot of those cars that you just laid out hit, less supply, more demand equals higher prices. Talk to us about the margins for some of these car makers. Where does the pressure come from?
Yeah, well, the unions are referencing the profitability of these car companies, which have been higher because there have been so much pent-up demand and so much that has had to get worked through. But for these legacy automakers, there are a lot of issues ahead. And when you look at the actual cost of labor per hour on average for the big three versus some others, it's pretty interesting. It's about $66 an hour for the big three. If you look at Tesla, it does not use union labor. On average, that's about $45. If they were to meet all of the demands, the initial demands of the union, that number would go to $136. So really, in the EV transition, competitiveness is right at the center of the conversation, and not just for the U.S. automakers, for Mercedes. We spoke to the CEO, Ola Källenius, a little bit earlier.
We have always kept lockstep with what's going on in the economy to make sure that we have attractive jobs. So we watch that and we make adjustments as we go along. But at the same time, we look at, how can we do things better? How can we do work in a smarter way, get leaner, because the cost competition is not going to go anywhere.
And so there you have Mercedes-Benz, a luxury car company with big margins, talking about getting leaner. So this is front and center for every automaker around the planet.